guys, sorry, I got a guest. I got a regular commenter on, and I was chatting with him. He's got the sickest setup. He's got like the Coca Cabana. We were chatting about getting cheap stuff. So sorry, guys, I was late. I got wrapped up. I love talking to people. So here he is, Lucas. You guys see him all the time in the comments. And I'm glad he said, let me come on. And I said, yeah, of course. Any of you guys want to come on this whole little thing here and chat with me? I'd love it, man. I love people. I love talking to them. I even love to be told I'm wrong and have a good discussion. So everybody, this is Lucas. You see him on the thing, Lucaspedia. Lucas, he's always commenting. I think next week we're going to get Reese's Pieces. Any guys want to come on, man, I'm really honored to have you. So Luke is going to be my co-partner tonight, try to keep me from screwing up, which is probably going to be difficult. I might have to pay him. So let's dig into it, man. Lucas, tell us about yourself.
Dolphin fan for most of my life here. That's the most important thing I would say, ever since I've gotten into football. But I'm in my 40s. I am an HVAC technician in South Florida, and I'm a blessed man.
Nice. So you can tell right away he's the tech guy. He's going to be the brains of the operation. I'm the monkey riding him tonight, man. So anyway,
I'm a monkey too.
Well, that's all right. You're, as my wife would say, you're a man. You got half monkey in you no matter what. So
yeah, and just a disclaimer: I never played the game, but I enjoy watching the game, whether it's the Dolphins or not. And so maybe I can chime in and give something useful to the conversation here.
Without a doubt, everybody has something useful to say, brother. I mean, that's the whole thing. People don't realize that, I'm no expert, when it comes to football. I didn't even play it really high. I played at junior college for a little bit, so I'm no expert. But I'm telling you, these comments that I get, so many great comments. And sometimes I get comments and they lead me down rabbit holes. I learn so much in the process. That's why I really enjoy like dialogue, because I've learned more about football since I started doing this thing than I have my entire life, because I get all these, different rabbit trails and people saying, I agree with you, I don't agree with you. What do you think about this? So anyway, so what do you think? Awesome. You think the Ravens are going to win or the Dolphins are going to win, and why? Quick summation.
Put me on the spot. Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's better than me being on the spot. I'm always on the spot.
I'm going to be rooting for my team. And
no. You can't. Oh, no. Give me the lowdown.
I'll give you. I don't know if I want to put a score out there or anything like that.
Yeah, no, don't worry.
It's going to be tough for us to go into Baltimore and beat them. They look great. They have some injury concerns, obviously, but they look great, and I think that they will probably overcome those. And I don't think that we are going to pull it off, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah.
However, any given Sunday, and I'm going to be rooting for them for sure. So I'm sure you've got a whole bunch of stuff lined up, to talk about and everything.
Yeah,
and maybe you can prove me wrong.
No, you know what it is? Honestly, I was totally in the camp of we're screwed. I mean, you always got a chance. But, once Waddle was out, I got a little nervous. But you don't know if Hamilton's going to be in there and their other cornerback. And if those two guys are out, it does open up the possibility. I think they're a little bit more physical than us. I think they're going to be home. I think they're going to pump everybody up with everything they can to get these guys to win this week. Because if they win this week, they lock up the AFC, and then they give these guys who are beat up 2 weeks to rest. Mm-hmm. So I think that they're going all in. It looks like Hunt's not going to play. Waddle's not going to play. It's going to be critical for us to run. I think, they're inconsistent on offense, and our defense, if they have a phenomenal game and they keep it low scoring and we get those pop plays, maybe. But I'll go into the whole deal. But I think the running game is going to be critical. There was a good article by Sharp Sports or whatever, and he talked about how the Ravens run the lightest box in the NFL. And they say run on us, but we're going to stop the pass. And anytime they break that run the light box down, they're susceptible to the pass game. Now, if they come out with that strategy and they don't have Hamilton and the other corner, this starting corner, then it could open things up. So I believe there's a puncher's chance, but it's not going to be easy. Hey, Zonk, what's going on, brother? Come on. You coming on next week? Hey, everybody, come on, man. We'll get everybody on. I love this, man. This is great. Reasons. Without the other corner in Hamilton, we have a real chance. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to go into it. This game really has me I felt like I was really accurate up into the 4 minutes left in the Titans game, and then I obviously got that wrong, and then I got the Jets one totally wrong. I felt like I was on target with Dallas, but this one is really intriguing, man. It can go a lot of different ways because this is a very curious matchup. So let me get into some of the stuff. I want to show. Let me get this little bit over here. 1 second. Desktop live. 1 second, guys. All right. This is from Sharp Sports. Am I getting a feedback over there? Am I getting feedback? Okay. So the light boxes. Ravens run the lightest box in the NFL, and they have 34% success rate. They allow 34% success rate, one of the lowest in the league when they're in that light box. But once they bring the bigger guys up, it gets more than 7. They go to 46, and they fall to one of the worst in the league. And so I really do think, I don't believe the offensive line's as awesome as some people are portraying. I do believe it has potential, but if we can get that run game going and it's as good as some of these other guys are saying, we can get that run game going. And if they don't have Hamilton, they don't have that corner, it's going to throw them into an offensive game where they're going to have to keep up with us, and we're going to really put them in a bind. And I kind of like their front better than ours, but I like Fangio better. Now, we got to remember there's injury. There's tons and tons of injuries, and we don't know that situation. This football's a game of matchups, and so no one can really accurately predict anything, and you can predict it even less when you don't know who's playing. So we know Waddle's out. Hunt's doubtful. He's not playing. So we could take those players off the board. Davis, he's a linebacker, kind of like a second backup tier linebacker. He's out. But for us, Cotton's injured. Eichenberg's injured. They're probably going to play. Holland, we don't know about Holland. Howard's a little dinged. Austin Jackson's a little dinged. Mostert's a little dinged. And Jalen Ramsey just came up on his knee as far as being limited in Friday's practice. That's very concerning. That's very intriguing. Could be a little something. We don't know which knee it is. Hopefully it's not the repaired knee, because that could then be a degrading thing. So we got to see how those guys all play out. Now, to me, if Kyle Hamilton's not in, they're in very big trouble. He had a limited practice on Thursday, out on Friday, didn't practice Wednesday. I think they're going to shoot him up. I think they're going to get that knee ready, but is he going to be 100%? And if he's not in, or he's less than 100%, it does open up. Now, I don't like the percentages. I'm with you without a doubt, Lucas, but I want to show some film now. So I want to put this film up to show you that some of the stuff that I saw with the Ravens and San Fran, I see that we could, even if Hamilton is in, I don't think he's going to be near 100%. No, but they need him big time, because they're kind of thin, especially with both the corners out. The corners dealing with an ankle, so it's going to be very interesting. But you're going to see some stuff here that I think we can attack their defense on. But then there's a one concern at the end. I want to focus two concerns. So let's take a look at the film. And this will be an outside run. You can see this exactly. A lot of the stuff that San Fran does is what we do. There's differences, obviously. There's different talents. But the shotgun draw to the edge, and you can see all the space that's created. You can see Mostert or A-Chain find a way here. Now, there's a caveat to this that I'll work off of. But think about, you got Williams. And then you got Tehran. And so there is a similarity there. Now, the difference is they got two excellent blocking tight ends that are also receiving threats. And, that does add something. But this is something we could see. And so just picture, Tua handing off to Mostert or A-Chain. And those guys are faster than McCaffrey. And so if we can get this going on that first down run in the light box, it's really going to give us a shot. Let's see. And so now here you got the eye. You can picture Ingold in there. I think Ingold could play a part of opening this up. You see the nice little crack down over there by the tight end. You can see one of our receivers doing that and opening the stuff up to the edge. And this is the kind of stuff that really will bleed the Ravens. Now, you can see right here, just look, a crack block, just like what we do. You got the lead, 89, that could be the fullback Ingold. You got Tehran over there where Williams is at, and then it's the one-on-one. This is stuff I think we can get. But now you got to see, this is another thing. Look, play action. Look at that, two guys out. Does it almost exactly what we run, one-on-one. And look at 21. And he's the guy who's injured, and he's getting burnt right here. And you can see Hill doing that kind of stuff. And that offers hope. I really say that, hey, we can attack this Ravens defense. Now, it's not all just that. Now, what San Fran did is they attacked all the field. They attacked inside, they attacked off tackle, outside, and then they had multiple pass games. But they still lost. But they were getting good success in their first down run game, and then they got off of it. And so it maybe not have been the most wise tactics. Maybe we'll stick with it. But you can see here the inside run, even with Williams, they have a little bit of hard time. That's not what you want. And Tehran's not as good a drive block. You can see Williams drive blocking here, but these guys are tough up front. And that A-B gap and off the 5 is going to be a little bit tougher. And you see inside here, they got a nice run, but you have to ask yourself, look at 55, that's Brunskill, top 5 or something. The guy next to him, I can't remember his name, but he's not that good. He's a decent run blocker, but you're going to get this. Look at that cap. And then the peel to the second level, you get everything opened up. Can we do that consistently? If we can, that's really going to break them out of that thin front that they want to run. And then that puts us in position. Now, this is a problem. They level their zones and coverage really well. And you can see just this. Look, this is just like what Tua does. But notice how Tua's been getting off. But look how quick they get in there. And even with the movement, they just got level after level. And San Fran found themselves in 5.88 blockers per pass. And that's what we've been doing. And so there is some concern that they're going to be able to force us into like 2 and 3 wide receiver route combos, maximizing our blockers, and then be able to get that pressure and maybe get some hits onto it. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that is one of my concerns. But there is possibility there. And so I think it's not going to be easy. They've got a good front. They got Van Noy. They've got a lot of even guys in the background in that front. And they got good linebackers to control the middle. But that run game, if people, all the people that are high on our offensive line, and I want to get into that a little bit, if they're correct, then we should be able to run on them, especially if their corner's out and Hamilton's out. Let's see. Reese is hoping if Ravens feel themselves a little and Miami comes in with a chip on their shoulder. It's possible. This can go, hey, Sean, guys, let me say hi to everybody. Hey, Sean, what's going on? I'm watching all these live morning shows, and they're all giving it to the Ravens. They all have us losing. Well, they are home. They've beaten some better teams. They should win, just like we should beat the Bills week 18. That's your home field advantage. But you always got to give a team a puncher's chance. And once the injuries shake out, you never know. So I would never say Miami's definitely going to lose. But it's going to be an uphill fight. And that's good, because if we win it, you have to understand how critical that is, what a big win it is. Shekel, so far I've only been wrong 4 times, Lucaspedia. Shekel, Mob Rule. Yeah, you have an echo issue. What is that? Is that on you, Lucas?
I can't hear it at all. I can't hear it coming from you. I can't hear it on my side or anything.
I hear it. Let me see. Sorry, guys.
I'll mute mine for a second if you want. Maybe
yeah, try muting yours and see.
Yeah, maybe I'm screwing you up, Curtis. Here,
Can you hear me?
Just a second. I'm trying to. How do I get out of here? Hold on.
Yeah, let me put you on the side. I can. Let me see. This is a new tech thing, guys. Am I echoing now? Nah, I'm sorry, Lucas. It was you, brother. It was you, Fredo. All along, it was you. It was you. I didn't do it this time. It was Lucas. He's a Jet fan. He came on the show to sabotage me. No, I'm only kidding. Let me see. Get back. Thanks, guys. What I missed? You hit the like. Opinionated onion. Hit the like button. Yeah, brother. Thank you. Smooth ambience. Happy New Year from Brisbane, Australia, man. That's nice, man. I've never been there. I've always wanted to go. Wow, man. I like where you live. I wish I could live there, except for the house prices. Let's see. Shekel, we got this 35-17. Man, if you pull this, if you get that one right, you're on the show. You're going to be the king poobah on the next show, man. Let's see. Not sure if the jet sweeps and toss to the sides are smart in this game. Well, I'm going to go over the matchups, and I'll show you some stuff now. The jet sweeps, if they're in that thin box that they run, they're going to have more speed on the field, and the jet sweeps could be, shut down. But the tosses, they might still work. If you look at this was the run game from the San Francisco, and you can see that they struggled to the right. To the left, they had Williams there, and so they had great success to the left, and that's obvious. You're talking about one of the greatest tackles of all time. Will we have that same success with our tight end combo group, with Tehran, who I think is more of a slide blocker and a agility blocker than a drive blocker, and then with Cotton and Eichenberg? I don't know, but would you hear, and that we should. I was like, Bruce Key. Bruce, what's going on? Hey, Curtis, do you think not having Waddle will force two in the offense to spread the ball around more? No Waddle against the Broncos. Well, good question. If you look, I'm going to show you, because I believe that if you overhype this offensive line and this protection group, then you're undervaluing Tua's true MVP credentials, which is not only is he driving the passing game, but McDaniel, Tua, Hill, and Waddle are driving the protection through speed of throw. And so without Waddle, you're going to lose some leverage. The Chosen's there, but it's not the same as Waddle. You got Wilson. Now, he's good in the physical department, but he doesn't have that vertical speed. You got Berrios, who's a move guy, a little quick, jitterbug kind of guy. But you're going to see Hill's going to drive most of that leverage. But without a Hill, it's going to pull it back a little bit. Now, again, if Hamilton in the corner is not in there, it's a different story, because if they're going to get any brains, they're going to play the too high coverage, where they play a lot more zones now, and they're just going to make sure they box off Hill and let everybody else beat them. They could be idiots, like I said last week with Dallas, and then play man coverage naked over the top and get burned, and then figure it out after 2 drives. I don't know what's with these guys, but I don't know. So I think that not having Waddle, you're going to have to spread it out, but you're going to lose leverage, and it's going to force us to be more successful in that run game. All right. Yeah, we got rid of the echo. It was Lucas sabotaging me. We got to figure it out, man. There's some way to figure that out, because I go on with Tommy, and I don't get the echo. We'll figure it out next time. So anyway, now Lucas. So what do you think? I really want you to continue talking, man. It's your. After all, I put this little puzzle together. I'm going to add some more information. I'm going to go through the comments. Brian McHenry. Hey, Curtis, love the show. Thanks, brother. I like that. I like that better than being called a monkey or an idiot. Came in late with family in town, so hoping Hamilton rests in all week. If he's not in, this defense really is in trouble. And I don't mean like they're doomed, you know what I mean? But just imagine, what it's been like us without Holland, but maybe even worse for them, especially when they lose that corner. So I think there's opportunity here. I do think they're going to shoot these guys up. I think that they got the Friday off to let the swelling go down, and they're going to baby that stuff and pump them up with everything they got to get them to play. Can't do too much. The leg goes dead. And then they're going to let them rest the 2 weeks. Because if they beat the Dolphins this week, then they can let them rest next week, and then they got the bye. So I think they're going to let it ride, everything, balls to the wall, everybody to play. But I'm hoping not. But thanks for coming, Brian. Let's say. Okay, so anyway, Lucas, so what do you think, man? What's your after my little spiel? You got it?
I think, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, tell us if there's an echo. I switched headphones. Maybe this will work a little better.
Yeah, no echo now.
Okay, well, hopefully they don't pick up. I don't know what happened.
Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. I do it every week, and it's my show. I screw up every week.
No, it's all good. I'm worried about that penetration through the offensive line, for pass and run. If we can establish that we can run and get away from where that pressure is, wherever we're weakest, I think that we can, open up the pass game and everything. I like what you showed in the video and everything, but I was just thinking, okay, that's the 49ers. I think they probably have a better offensive line than we do. So
well, sort of. That's the interesting thing, man. I went into with a preconception like you. But then I actually broke down their offensive line. They're actually struggling in parts of their offensive line that they haven't in the past. They've got Williams there, who's really awesome. Brunskill, their right tackle position is in flux. Center position's okay, and then the left guard is actually struggling. I don't know how to. I'll get back to you. Luke is at a strip club. No, man, that's his house, dude. This guy's a big player. He's a big player, man. I got big players on my show. Only big players come on my show.
So everybody.
Yeah, the only real edge that I would give them, well, their Brunskill, the right guard, is Hunt level, but we're not going to have Hunt.
Right.
Their center is better than Eichenberg, and Williams is better. Trent Williams is better than Tehran, but not another planet.
Right.
But I think we got faster players, and then we have Hill that causes some leverage. I think we could get some of the stuff, but it's not a 1+1 deal. Hold on a second, Kyle. So basically, the Ravens are favored by 0.5 because you get 3 at home. Yeah, they bumped it up to 3 though. They went from 2.5 to 3. I think today or yesterday.
Yeah, that's what he's saying though.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but no. He says it's 0.5. So basically, Ravens are favored by 0.5. I guess. How does that work? Do you know?
I just looked it up on. I use an app called The Score. It's like ESPN, whatever. They said the Ravens are supposed to be up, 3.5, and so what he's saying there is that half of it is the actual favored part.
Oh, they're up to 3. Okay.
And you get 3 points just for being at home, statistically, just for being at home. So he's saying they're only half a point better than us without factoring the home advantage. Does that make sense?
Nice. Yeah. No, yeah, it does. Thanks for helping me out. I got the ace per head guys. I don't know nothing about none of that stuff, man. I need somebody that would do paint by numbers for me. Thank you, Lucas. I appreciate that. I got it. Yeah. So, they're 3.5 minus 3.5. All right, cool. Right. Yeah, I guess so. Which they're saying that says a lot about us. I mean, this is like the big heavyweight fight in the AFC. So totally. What was it? What was Dallas? Dallas was 2.5 or something last week? Does anybody remember what Dallas was given last week?
I'm trying to look it up.
All right, I'm going to put some other stuff here. So I did a little homage over here. Let me see if I can find it.
Just real quick, we were up 1.5. Negative 1.5 us. were
Okay.
favored.
All right. So that means they're giving the Ravens more likelihood to beat us than us to beat Dallas.
Correct.
I'm a little slow. All right. So I did this. I don't know if you guys can see this graphic. I put a lot of information here. And what I really, for me, I believe in evaluation. And I really do believe Tua is doing an unbelievable job. And I believe that, if you're in a stock market or cryptos or whatever, if something gets overvalued, it gets bloated. And then there's always a negative backlash because something is being undervalued. And usually when that bubble bursts, something else rises. So anytime you get distortions, you're going to get bad evaluations. And if you go look at this chart, I can go call up any quarterback you guys want me to call up. But I got Miami, Dallas, San Fran, Philly, Cleveland, Buffalo, Baltimore, Detroit, and even the Bengals, even though Burrow's not in, but when he was in. And you could see, look at what Tua is doing. It's so far above and away all these other teams. And I want to show how speed of throw drives protection, and not to devalue the offensive line, but to evaluate it properly so that the proper value goes to those who deserve it. So top left corner is the Dolphins. Look at our clean throw percentage. 75.6% of our throws are clean at 2.09 seconds. Yards per attempt, 9.4. I'm going to go through these other quarterbacks, and you're going to see this is grossly higher than any other quarterback. And I'm going to show you how this speed of throw is driving things. And I'm going to use that for this Ravens game. And I'm going to tie it into all that stuff. But I really want this valuation to be really understood. So we see people talking about how there's, this many sacks, this many pressures, and obviously the offensive line, they're doing a, tremendous job. But let's understand something. Under pressure, 24.4, the least in the NFL. Now that's a raw stat, but what drives that stat? Why is there so little pressure? Why is the pocket so clean? Well, we see that 2.09 second time to throw clean. Now, if we go, that's first in the NFL. Now, if you go down when blitzed, which is only 24.8, which is one of the lowest. I think might be the lowest. Yeah, it is the lowest. And you'll see that is also 2.09 seconds first in NFL. So there's a gross disparity here. We're getting the ball out super quick. And then the time to throw during the blitz is super quick. Now, we don't know why. Is it because we're just super quick or whatever? But I'm going to show you the rest of these teams with really good offensive lines to say, if they're really good offensive lines doing this and our offensive line is doing this, it does not jive. Hold on a second. Hey, Brian, man, what's going on, bro? You coming on next? $10, man. Merry Christmas. I'm going to have a merry New Year, man. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. It's very kind. Hey, Curtis, finally had a chance to come by live. With Waddle out, I'm curious if they finally start to include Claypool more. Maybe like they were Smythe last week, we could use them more in the scene. Maybe. Now, why don't you come on? I know you've been trying to help me out with this tech stuff, so we're going to get you on too, Brian.
More the merrier.
Claypool's been sitting in the background. And, it's going to break him out or it was just not a good move. I think that, from what I saw, I loved what Wilson did last week. He was really physical. And if you look at the Ravens secondary, they're pretty good at coverage. But some of them are very shoddy in run blocking, run defense. And if you can get a guy like Claypool and Wilson in that second level to make those seal blocks, you could get that shock or win. So it's now or never, really. I mean, it's like, or get off the pot or whatever it's called, So, yeah, they've got to. It's about time, unless, maybe it's for the playoffs or something. I'm going to say Ravens red zone defense is bad matchup with the Dolphins. Dolphins run the ball. The Ravens will have some issues. Well, it's a twofold thing. If you notice, we stall out a lot of time in the red zone because teams don't fear the deep ball because you can't get the deep ball. And then that forces you to deal in a phone booth. And the Ravens, I think, will be better suited against us in the phone booth. I think our time is going to be get those big plays. Get that big chunk yard for a touchdown. I'm a little concerned with that front they got. They've got Van Noy who can drop. They've got a lot of guys. What's his face from the Bears? I've got his name over here. They got tough linebackers, and I think the red zone is going to be a little difficult for us, and it could look a little bit like what we saw with Dallas. So we're going to need some chunk plays. If we can get the run game going, they're done. They're toast. But I'm a little concerned. I think the lack of red zone production at times is showing the weakness, the real legitimate weakness in your offensive line. You've seen that when we complained that he wasn't running inside, he ran inside, and he really wasn't able to run inside too much. There's a lot of stops and losses and stuff like that. So it'll be very interesting, Brian. But if Claypool and Wilson can give that physical second level blocks, then maybe there's like a little surprise in the box. I missed somebody. So here's a question. How much do the Ravens blitz against us? They don't blitz that much. They're not a blitzing team. They blitz very little. They don't generate really good pressure, but they generate a lot of sacks. And what they do is they'll get you off schedule, and then that's when they mess you up. But their actual pressure rate's a little low. I'm going to show you. I'll go through their defense real quick, and I'll get back into this quarterback thing. If you look at their pressure rating, they're only getting 19%, which has them like 22nd. We're number one at 28.7. And amazing thing about our defense is that our blitz rate is extraordinarily low. We're 28th at 20%, and we're still number one in pressure. That is unbelievable. Now, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. Now, the Ravens, they blitz 22.8. So they are a pass defense that gets you off schedule, and then when you're off schedule, then they deliver the blow. So they're more about, I guess in a sense, efficient pressuring and big-time plays. And they have other things, too. They have one of the lowest pass completions percentages, and that's because they run that light box. So they're not going to blitz that much, But if they do blitz, that means they're getting out of that light box probably, and it's probably going to hurt them. Let me, Brian, I couldn't finish that. Okay, I couldn't finish my message in the last chat, but it would be nice to have that ESP with the guy that offers you something after the catch. Wait, hon, I don't get that. What does that mean? Lucas, can you answer that? I couldn't finish my message in the last chat, but it would be nice to have that ESP with a guy that offers you something after the catch. What does that mean?
Is especially.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. Okay, hold on a second. Mr. Oglesby Jr. We will pressure him. Dolphins have no chance. We will pressure
the enemy amongst us.
Oh, no, it's all right. No, he's not an enemy. He's a football guy, man.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Oh, so you're a Ravens fan, brother?
That's what it looked like to me.
Lamar Jackson is better than any defense you come up with. Hill will get shut down. Well, so in essence, you're saying you're giving absolutes. Lamar Jackson's a real good quarterback. I really thought that, his passing game was underused. They beat him up a little too much. I really like the kid. I think he's really talented, but he is inconsistent. He's had times where he struggled to put points on and he's made mistakes, but now he can also make the big play as well. It's going to be really about us containing and holding our lanes because he's very slow to get to that first read. And, your offensive line's really good. I love Moses. The Jets really should never let him go. I thought we could have picked him up. I really like your offensive line. I think you guys are home. I think you guys are very physical, but our front is extremely good. Long is excellent in the run stop. And I'm a little concerned that Baker's not there. And he's not because he's fast. The L2 guys are a little slow to spy on you. I think you said that a second. No one can spy Lamar Jackson 49ers tried your offense is just like the 49ers. It's sort of, but not really. Sort of, but not really. But what their major mistake was they got off the run game. And their defense I do like a lot. They have really good pressure. They got the two ends that are really good. But you guys have had struggles. You lost to Arizona. Why'd you lose to Arizona? I believe it was Arizona you lost to, or I struggled with them, is the run game. If Hamilton's not in, your cornerback's not in, and you try to break out that light box, it's going to be hard for you. So I don't think you can say that without a doubt the Dolphins are going to lose 100% because you don't even know if your top two cover guys are going to be in. And Hill is notoriously difficult to shut down. Not many people do it. Maybe you can. We'll see. But Tua's speed of throw beats anything as far as pressure. Now, if you get us off schedule and stop our run on first down, it could be hard. But I don't believe in that. I don't believe in absolutes. You see every week teams that should win lose and should lose win. So I think that from Baltimore. Yeah, I figured that. It's okay, though, man. You're a fan.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah. And to be truthful, like last year when we played you guys, you had no secondary. Your secondary's been bumped up. You've got a lot of guys that, depending on it, whether Hamilton's in, not at a corner. So it's a different game, you guys are a lot better than last year. You kind of threw that game away last year a little bit. You guys are much tougher this year. I think that the chances of you winning is very high, but I would never say no. And I think there's areas where, you kind of, if you're going to give an evaluation, like there's no way you can win and Hill's going to get shut down, that's kind of like fanaticism. I don't think that's really great football evaluations. Don't agree with the Hill getting shut down comment. Come on. Yeah, you could limited, maybe, without Waddle, maybe they can limit him if they focus on him. I really don't know that. Hey, wait, Mr. Oglesby, explain your defense a second. You guys run lots of zones. Do you guys run zone man hybrid coverages? Because that's what New England did. Your QB only looks good against 500 teams. That's like, but that's like breaking out, ESPN talk, brother. All right, so I got it.
He's trolling.
That's all right. Whatever. I don't care. All right. Are you worried they will be pressuring Lamar too much? I just want to keep him in the pocket. Yeah, well, that's what you got to do. You got to keep him in the pocket. And he's a good, much better passer than he gets credit for. He can be a little sloppy. His reads can be a little slow on the first read, but he dances really well, and the offensive line gives him really good protection. And then once he gets on the move, he's excellent. He's got very good vision as far as patrolling the secondary, looking for guys open on the move. He is ultra dangerous. I mean, there's no to me, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he is a nightmare to try to stop. But this defense is getting 28% pressure rate, but only pressuring 20% of the time. And Baltimore's offensive line is good, but Stanley is not an elite pass blocker, and their pressure can get there. And if he makes a couple mistakes, and Lamar's made some mistakes, well, who did they lose there a couple of weeks ago, where he just kind of made a few mistakes at the end? And so I don't believe that there is no way that they can win. But some people would. Let's see. I would stack the box, let Lamar beat you with his arm. Nah, not anymore, brother. Because he's gotten a lot better. His sometimes he's off with his throws. But we're not stacking. We're gonna play on nickel. And if you look at their defense, they kind of play a similar look as us, where they got the two guys, the two technique, three technique DTs inside and the 5 techs out wide. And they're going to come in with the nickel just like us. It's going to be a lot of similarities. And so it's going to come down to protection, run game, and how well a quarterback makes a decision. Now, let me get back. I got lost here for a second. I want to show you and Mr. Oglesby what Tua is doing. So you'll say that Tua is only this or that or whatever. But if you understand that this protection is not hot to trot and Tua is uplifting it, it shows you that he can really do his stuff against all the teams, and they got to worry about that. And 2, how valuable it is. So let's get back to that protection second. I'm going to go into the Ravens game real quick after this. I mean, a quick one through this. But if you look, Time to throw, clean pocket 209 with 9.4 depth. You go down the line. Bills 7.9, 2.42, but only 65%. That's 10% clean throw more time than the Bills. You look at Baltimore, 62.7 clean pocket, 7.4 depth. Tua is actually doubling that by 2 yards. Time to throw, 257. I mean, he's throwing that ball almost half a second quicker than Lamar's getting that ball out. You look at Cowboys, kept clean, 67.6, 238, which is quick, but Tua is beating that, and he's also beating it by 2 yards per depth. It's San Fran, who you say is just like them, only 60% clean throw pocket, 15% more for Tua. Look, 10.5 is more depth than what Tua is getting, but 235, it's almost 0.2 seconds more. That's a lot of time. And then, you can see Philly, they're moving the court. But now if you go to the Browns, so Browns, this is with El Flaquito, kept clean 68% of the time, 8.8 and 247. So he's almost where he is with the percentage, almost where he's at the depth, but look at the time to throw difference. Now you have to understand, they don't have great tackles. Their tackles both went down. They have no receivers. But they got a great inside three. You got to keep that account. Now, if you look at the Lions, kept clean, 65%, 7.9, 2.37. And then you go to the Bengals, kept three, 69.5, 2.12, which is right into his range. But look at the yards per attempt. And you remember, Burrow is getting his brains beat in. But I want to show you quickly. I'm going to do this one again on a podcast because I want to get into the Ravens part. I want to show you how good Tua is, how much Hill drives the leverage, and how well McDaniel's doing. They are generating protection through speed of throw. And I don't think I've ever seen this before. And if you don't put value to this, then you are cutting Tua short and you're not seeing what he could do. If he had time to throws and protection times like the rest of these teams, what would he do? Is he throwing it because he likes to throw it that quick, or is because he has to? Again, when blitz 2.09, focus on that a second. So you go to Burrow, even Burrow with his bad offensive line struggles, only throwing 6.3 yards per attempt. He's got 2.26. That's almost 0.15 less on blitzes. Look at a good offense like San Fran. When they're blitzed, 2.64. That's over half a second more protection when blitzed, and he's not a mobile cornerback. Look at Cleveland, 2.40. So when blitz doesn't tell you exactly why they're getting the ball out that quick. But when you see these other teams with other lines and not mobile quarterbacks with higher time, that means it has a decent amount to do with the pressure being generated, and it undervalues the protection. But again, it goes back to Tua being so fast. Look at this. 8.6 yards on all plays at 2.32. Look at everybody else, 7.5, 2.72. That's the Cowboys. San Fran, 9.7, which is great, but 2.69 time to throw, 0.3 seconds more. And you go through this list over here. The only one that's even close is Bengals, but it's 6.4 yards per attempt. That's almost 2 yards more per completion. And it's even better on the blitz than us. And so what I want to say is that you've got to value Tua. Tua's release, his ability to pinpoint reads very quickly, and Hill and Waddle to drive this protection, and McDaniel to create these mismatches is not only driving production in the pass game, it's also opening up for the run game. The leverage opens up the flanks and allows us to get our speed guys to the edge, but then it's also driving protection. And so when you face a defense that slows the time to throw, that's why Tua has problems. It's not about the teams. It's about the defenses and the time to throw being pushed up. So anyway, that's what our O-line has to really play an A game. Oh, they got to. They've got to. But, people love Jackson. It's not that I hate him. People love Eichenberg. I don't think he's that good, but they're getting blasted. They're getting tall. There's a whole article out. I don't have time to read it tonight. And they're basically saying this offensive line is like, it's the 84 pass blockers and the 72 run blockers, which is not the case at all. But if they block well, we can win. Let me see. I'm sorry, guys. I'm missing some of your stuff. Mr. Oglesby. That's why this is a revenge game. Hill will be shut down, and your run game is okay. It is, but the run game is really generated through the pass game and through the leverage created. And so I want to treat you like with respect, Mr. Oglesby, because I believe in conversation. If you can remain in your light box and you have Hamilton and that other corner, I always forget his name, I'm bad with names. It's going to be a hard day for us. But if you're missing one or two of those guys and we're able to drive you out of that light box, it's going to be a fight. And you're not going to see your defense do what you think it can do. And all the numbers show that once you get out of that light box, your pass coverage drops and you really struggle. And if you struggle in your pass coverage, then we're going to have an opportunity to win this game. I would love to get Claypool, get Claypool involved. Yeah, Brian was talking about that too. Pressure me will crack. That's not true. That's not true at all. If the Ravens had an offensive line like Miami had, then you would understand. You guys have a very good pass protection unit. I showed the numbers before. Tua is doing a phenomenal job to throw protection. Now, some of these guys are doing good. When we got Hunt and we had Connor, it was a totally different line. But both those guys are out. Your offensive line across the board is much better. We got Tehran's better, but the rest of your unit's almost better than every one of our guys. So you have to be objective and fair, or else you become like a fanatic. $10, $20, man. I'm going to Lucas's house. I'm flying over, man. Thank you, Reese's. That's very nice, brother. I appreciate that. Curtis, what's your 3 keys for Miami to win? Run, contain Lamar, and get that ball out quick. That's going to be the keys. You got to run that football on first down, make them pay. You got to get the ball out quick. You can't because Tua's got a quad injury and a thumb injury right now. And the Ravens hit you hard, man. They're a physical team. They're gonna nuke you if they hit you. So you got to do that, and then you just got to contain Lamar. You can't let him beat you with his legs. He doesn't do it as much anymore, but in key moments. And you got to have to get to him and contain him, which is never, ever easy. I love the kid. I really do. I think he's a really good kid. Yeah, no turnovers. That'd be the fault. That's like a given, man. Turnovers are going to be key. And that's where Lamar makes mistakes sometimes. Sometimes he throws like the errant pass. And with this defense, I think Fangio is the most brilliant mind on the field, and he could definitely do his thing. So, yeah. So, anyway, let me get back to the matchups. Let's show this matchup here. This is us versus the Ravens. I got all my boxes over here. Now, Jackson, he's going to be in. It looks like they're going to get him in. And thank you, Reese's, for $10, bro. I appreciate that, man. I really do. Now, people love Jackson. They're talking about him this or that. He's going to have a hard time. I mean, Clowney's going to be there. Vanoy's going to be there. This is not an easy front. They're 2 D tackles. One guy's 340, the other guy's 315. And you're going to have Cotton, Eichenberg, and Jones, who I like. But Jones is not going to be the big boy this week. Against Dallas, he was the big boy. He's going to be going against guys that are equal size. And so that front 4 against ours is going to be very, very tough. And it's going to come down to Jackson. People high on Jackson, this is his game. Smythe. He has hot games and cold games. I don't like Hill blocking. Claypool was mentioned. That would be a big one. And then Wilson also blocking. But we're going to need edge blocking, edge help blocking. Hill, he's obviously a stud. But is he 100%? Probably close. But how are they going to treat him? Are they going to take him away and make the others beat us? Or are they going to do it Dallas? Wilson, he's good, but he's not fast. He's good, but he's like a mid-clock guy. Are we going to have the protection we need? And then Berrios, he's not bad, but are we going to run high protection and be a 2-receiver routes combo? We'll see. And then if you look at them, I mean, if you take Hamilton out and you take out Stevenson, I guess that's his name, they got Mullet and Doherty or whatever. Those 2 guys are pretty good in the background, but they're going to be a little thin. Waddle helps them out. But if Hamilton's in, it's going to be very, very tough for us. Excellent linebacking group, obviously. Now, their safeties are not good tacklers. and they're not good in the run defense. And that opens up the big run for us if we can crack the corners. I don't think we're going to crack the middle. But they got Van Noy and Urban in the background. It's going to come down. I believe our defense is going to limit the Ravens. It's going to be what can we do on offense versus their defense. We're going to have to be successful. I don't think that field goal city is going to be enough. If you go down to the other side, you can see here they've got a really good offensive line. The left guard's got some weaknesses, but he's covered up by Stanley. Lindenbaum is awesome. Zietler is 340 pounds. I didn't know how big he is. That guy's a talented player, and he's gigantic. And Moses Malone, he's a really good player. I wanted us to get him. They have a good front, but they're not, Flowers is a little dinged up. He's a concern. Zay Flowers, because if he locks up on Kohu and they get that mid-clock, because either they block long enough or Jackson buys time, that's a concern for me. Ramsey, how's the leg? Howard, how's he feeling? I mean, Beckham was it back? Yeah, Beckham, he's still talented. He's not what he used to be, but he's pretty talented. Long Jr., I love him in the run stop, but I'm concerned about him covering long-term. Same thing with Riley. Is Holland playing or not? This is a game where Jones could be exposed. You saw last week there was some issues with Elliott and Jones. But if you go back to the film, you'll see that Dallas left a lot of plays on the field. There was a lot of missed throws. And I think that, what Lamar could do with his movement skills, he's going to, and his eyes, I think he's going to do better against us than Dallas. Now, the running back situation is not bad, but then they got Rickard, who's 305-pound fullback. They're going to bang. And so they're not really great at the run game, but that physical game and then getting exhausted, chasing Lamar around is something to think about. So to me, it's primarily our offense has to do good things. I don't think we're going to stop the Ravens offense. I don't think they're going to score 30 or 35. I think it's going to be like a 20-something game, 27, 21. 17, 27 if someone screws up. Miami's going to put points on. Ravens are going to put points on. But it's about, can we run that football and not let Tua be a pinata? And so how's second Zonka? I could do without the fade or wide receiver scheme. They do a lot of that stuff because they don't trust the protection and don't trust the run game inside. The screen game, it's a way. If you notice, ever since Hunt and Connor went down, the screen game's gone up. And that's the way you offset pressure. When you run that screen game, it forces guys to pay attention to the edge, and it gets the ball out quick, and you don't really not concerned with the pressure. The screen game was brought in because McDaniel's concerned about the pressure. I think that, this is a very smart Raven defense, and they don't bite on the screens too much, but sometimes they get caught. They're not really good sometimes in the run defense. And sometimes that screen game mimics that. And once you get the guys out there, those safeties kind of get a little lost and you can get some stuff out of it. Reese's Pieces and play small football, man. Yeah, you can't be cute. You can't be cute. As somebody was mentioning that last week, I hated that jet sweep with Waddle that messed up his ankle. This team is really, it's hurting. We've got to play smart. This is, people are talking about Dolphins being physical. This is the week for us to be physical. This is it. You go through our list of run games and the way we played, and there's a lot of stuff to go in there. There's no clear-cut answer. I mean, obviously, we got 350-yard game, 222, but whatever. But here we are now. This is the key time. This is going against good defenses. We're down Hunt. We're down Connor. But we've got to get that run game going this week and certainly next week against the Bills. It's going to be key. Can't let them stay in that light box. So basically, Ravens are facing a Shanahan scheme twice. Got to imagine McDaniel's going to throw a wrinkle too. Yeah. But, I like Purdy a lot, but Purdy does not get the ball out as quick. And there's nobody – I like Debo's physicality, but there's nobody like Hill. So it's a little different. The matchups are going to be a little different, but there's a lot of similarities, and it does give them an advantage if we play like what did Shanahan do? He was successful in the runs early, and then he went to heavy pass. Hey, wait. Lucas, I'm cutting you out, man. You want to say anything, brother?
No, I mean, everything's pretty good. I mean, we we just gotta hope for the things that we need to come together, like the run game, obviously. That I think that's critical, and we got to start with that and build off of it, and that's going to open up the other areas of the game to happen. So and it starts with the offensive line. But yeah, like you said, Tua's release is just like otherworldly. Purdy doesn't have that. Like, and on back on your other graphic, I was just amazed by the time to throw and how many yards. I think it said Purdy was 2.6 or something like that, and he was getting 10 yards. But if Tua had that much, he'd probably be in the 15-yard range. So
Well, that's the whole thing. If you want to evaluate protection, you evaluate not the numbers, but how long they are protecting for. And so if you give a quarterback the worst thing, the most deleterious effect for coverage and protection is time. And it's the balance between who can hold out longer, the protection or the time. And if the protection holds out longer, receivers get open because corners just can't, or DBs can't stay that long. But if the protection can't, then the DBs have less a difficult job, and then the protection looks, the coverage looks better. And so it's this balancing act of time. Time is the most critical quotient. I don't hear anybody talk when offensive coordinator drafts up a play. It's like, you got to be here at this time. This play comes out at this time. You go through this progressions at this time. Time. Everything is time. The number one quantity is always time. And so anytime you do an evaluation, it's got to be with time in mind. And what Tua is doing to get that ball out, you can see it. It's grossly above, and it's not because he goes to his first read. It is somewhat because Hill and Waddle are so fast. But that release and his ability to throw in space and with anticipation, and McDaniel setting it all up, is what's setting the protection. And so it's always about time. Been a few games. A-Chain's gotten hot. So hopefully he's doing. Yeah, he's a little dinged up. If he gets the space, he's going to break it. So, but Yuki, man, football, brother. Last week I got in trouble with Yuki. I ain't doing it this week. Not with my man Yuki. 40 carries between 3 backs, time to pound rock. Yeah. And I think that's the thing. We got to be patient. I think this is the game of a little. If you notice, Fangio, his first drive, it's almost always points. And then even the second one, it's like, whoa, Fangio's screwing up. And then all of a sudden he locks it down. His defense is a defense that, like, it's got to figure you out, make you do what you don't want to do, but you're going to get points on it. This offense is designed. This team is designed for points, but this game's got to be one of patience. We've got to be physical. We've got to hit them, especially if Hamilton and that corner's out. And last week I did a graphic with Dallas. You had to have like mid to high 20 carries to beat them. And we should have lost last week if they didn't fumble that ball. But it was that as we ran the football, you could see them getting weaker and getting off schedule and weaker. It's that patience. And I thought that McDaniel was impatient with the 4th and 5 and not kicking a field goal. He's got to have patience this week. It's their turf. They're coming off a big win. They played a team that's kind of like us. We've got to be smart, and I believe patience. I got in trouble. You were nice though. You gave me a tip, man. Sorry. I'm from New York. I talk, and half the time I'm thinking about what I'm saying. The other half, the tongue, the mouth is going, and I'm not even thinking. So, anyway. So that's really it, guys. It's going to be, if we've got to have to run the football. It all changes again if those guys are not in for the Ravens, but it's going to be this front is going to have to block. And people, I'm here. I got to see the article. I mean, I tell you should check out the article. Miami Herald, how Dolphins have turned a 3-decade blind spot into a strength, by Barry Jackson. And it's like literally every player on an offensive line is like awesome or close to being. I don't, it was like so like over the top. And what that does is saying, the last part I want to get to for Dolphins fans is if you're a Tua fan and a McDaniel fan, we're going against the Ravens and we're going against the Bills, and we got to have success. So you have an MVP worthy candidate in Tua, MVP worthy candidate in Hill. You've got a running back that's Pro Bowl caliber with almost 30 touchdowns. You've got a top 5 defense, top 5 run defense, brilliant mind in Fangio. And then you've got Waddle, who's a 1,000-yard receiver, who's almost breaking out into be a superstar. And now, if you have an offensive line that as good as everybody's saying, it's the 84 pass blockers and the 72 run blockers, then we should win the Super Bowl 100%. And if we don't, then the reason we didn't is because the talent's there, and Greer set this team up perfectly, and Tua and McDaniel laid an egg. And so if you overvalue this offensive line and things don't play out the way you want, who's going to take the fall? Because you have everything. You've got the defense, you've got the offensive line's brilliant. It's going to be Tua screwed up, and McDaniel's not good enough head coach. And that's not the case. I believe in good evaluation. Teron's awesome. Connor and Hunt were awesome. Everything else was like this. And it's the speed to throw that's driving it. So if you have a bad evaluation, Tua and McDaniel are going to be left holding the bag if it doesn't play out. And if we have all these parts and the offensive line is Super Bowl bound, we should beat the Ravens this week. We should beat the Bills next week. We should be number 1 in the AFC, and we should be on our way to Super Bowl, because what more can you do? You've got everything. So I just want to keep the evaluations real, because I do like Tua. I like good evaluations, and I like McDaniel, and I don't want the wrong people holding the bag. Anyway, guys, Lucas, anything you got to say, brother? Appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, just thankful to be able to do the first one here, and I hope I'm not the only guinea pig, for the next couple of months, So it worked out. Sorry about the echo, brother.
Nah, don't worry about it. I just, like I said, I screwed it up for the first year. I tried to do it every live, like first 25 of them. It was like always something. Don't worry about it. So yeah, even Lucas, if you want to pop in next week, or any of you guys, you want to pop in, you don't have to sit the whole time. I like seeing somebody next to me. I feel like I got friends and I'm hanging out in the bar, especially with that cool background. So yeah, guys, you're always welcome. Mi casa, su casa. I really mean that. I appreciate all you guys do. I really do. I like you guys a lot. I mean,
I can't think of any of the other Dolphins guys out there that would be bringing just regular Joe Schmoes on, to talk and everything like this. So thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm the biggest Joe Schmo out there. So how? Reese's Pieces, great show, Curtis. Hopefully we get the W. See you on the side, bro. Yes. All right, guys. Lucas, you're the best, man. I love you. We've been talking for a while, man. You're a real good guy. You got the best backyard, man. I got to come see that one day. Guys, you're all welcome. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy. Let's hope we get the W. But if not, let's be, evaluate fairly. It's the Bills game for me. Hey, John. I got to say hi to John. Hey, John. Sorry to be late. I will watch replay. Yeah, no worries, man. No worries. You're a great guy. Yeah, John, why don't you come on one day? You all got to come on one day. All right. So anyway, guys, I got to go hang out with the wife and the kids. My kids got an extra round of toys today, so I'm going to go play with them. So I think we got a chance, but understand it's an uphill battle, guys. Enjoy the game. Week 17, and we're in it. But to me, it's going to be the Bills game. I've been saying that all year. So anyway, Curtis saying, thank you. You guys are the best. Catch you next time. Be well. Go Fins. Hey, Tom.
Fins up.